Well, as I'm watching the game, I first off I saw a Manny Diaz special. What that means is a team that shows up unprepared, seems a little lackadaisical for the first couple of drives. We had four straight three and outs, Mark. I mean, yes, I understand we're breaking in a new QB, but at the same time, we have to understand that Tyler Van Dyke took the first team reps this spring, while our starting QB at the time, De'Aaron King, was out with injury. So him and Jake Garcia were taking first and second team reps back to back all spring. They also took first and second team reps a little bit early on in camp when De'Aaron King wasn't ready, and then he popped in and he went from there. But it felt as though we were holding him back because we were making him do checkdowns and run the ball and things of that nature, as opposed to going at this Virginia defense, which was statistically the worst defense in all of the ACC, which we see is a little bit kind of up and down depending on which game you watch. Because there's some times where teams believed to be big time and up there have played down to the level, or the teams low have played up to the level of the big time schools in the ACC. And Miami hasn't been one of them in a little bit. But when you watch this game, it was a cosmopolitan of what we've seen under Manny Diaz and under this Blake James led regime. Man, it's ridiculous, Mark. Week in and week out, they show up unprepared. Some seem like they don't want to be there. Defensively, the way we're tackling is almost historically bad. Okay, we're averaging 19 missed tackles a game, which is not stopping. There was some that were upwards of 30 to 33 missed tackles in a game. Okay, and offensively, they're not having the back of the defense, and it's just all bad, Mark. It's all bad. Now, are there things that you could turn around and say, hey, that's good? Leonard Taylor making some plays, James Williams flashing and making some plays. But if we go to the first one with Leonard Taylor, that's a young man that this staff tried to tell the fan base isn't ready. The minute we put pressure on him to start playing him, the minute everyone starts asking, where's Leonard Taylor? The man gets in the game and start making plays. So someone's not telling the truth here. And that's where we perceive that Coach Diaz and his staff are just trying to buy time. They don't want to talk about freshmen because they want to continue to talk about the older guys because that's who they want to keep playing, when it's obvious that the freshmen are better than the older guys. It's that simple. We had the same problem at wide receiver last year. And we turn around this year, and yes, it was Coastal Central Connecticut State, but at the same time, you saw that once these youngsters got in the game, it was just a different click because the older guys are starting that game, and they didn't have that kind of explosion to them. Then we get to this Virginia game, and it was a really hard one to review, Mark, because you continuously saw so many opportunities for Miami to take this game by the throat and just go. Just win this game. And then when our head coach continues to lie, which a lot of coaches lie to the media, we get that. That happens. But you come on there and you say you're playing for the touchdown, but you call 4 dives up the middle, but we're playing for the touchdown. Now, Mark, it would be different if he would have taken one shot down the field early on that same drive. Let's say on first or second down, they did a play action and tried to hit tight end. Hopefully it's Elijah Arroyo because, Will Mallory doesn't know how to play football anymore. Maybe they throw a big fade route out to a Rambo or something like that. But no. Cam Harris up the gut, up the gut, up the gut, up the gut. And then another thing, Mark, I asked him and I said, can someone please tell me, does Manny Diaz know his players? So some people in the chat are like, well, Hosa, what are you going on about? I said, okay, I'll explain what I mean. Our kicker, Andy Borregales. He's a freshman, true freshman. Okay, not a super freshman, true freshman. Fresh out of high school. All of his kicks this year, they drift to the left slightly. All of them, make or miss. But if you let's pay attention to the misses. You go to Michigan State, he had a chip shot field goal, shaped it to the left. Okay. The App State game, he almost missed the game winner, and it was just inside of that upright, but it was drifting to the left. So why would you put the ball in the middle of the field? If you knew your player, you would know, hey, if we keep running this, don't cut back. Just make sure you stay on the right hand side. We want to get it as close to the right hash. If not, put it on the right hash so that when he does kick it and it drifts over to the left, guess what? It's going to go right down the middle. But no, he puts it center forward. The young man misses the field goal and shakes it. I, for one, don't want to put that kind of pressure on a freshman. I don't believe that it makes sense to do that, especially when you have all the momentum, especially when you are firing up. I mean, the way that Tyler Van Dyke broke on his 30-yard run and finishes in the end zone. I mean, it was all this momentum. Cam Harris got us in big field goal range. We're breaking some tackles and getting into it. I mean, everyone was feeling the energy. And Mark, I used to feel as though, well, these players aren't quitting on Manny and they keep fighting. It's not about that. It's about they have pride for themselves at this point. And you see the talent, you see the flashes, you see the ability.